Welcome to the Good Rookie Show. My name is Faheem.
And my name is Nelly J, y'all. And we are Good Rookie.
That's right.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Good Tuesday. And guess what? It's the Good Rookie Show.
Yep.
What's going on, y'all? We're your hosts coming to you from Toronto, Canada, the 6th. And we bring you the hottest topics in sports and culture. You done know. As y'all know, this is our last episode before the ending of Women's History Month. And Faheem, I want to start off with the woman history that I don't even think people even know about this amazing historic athlete. So, Mamie Johson was the first woman pitcher in the Negro Leagues. She was one of 3 women who played in the Negro League and the only woman to take the mound as a pitcher. Born in September 1935, she was 7 years old when she would play baseball every day from that moment. At 17, she got rejected as a team member by the White Female Baseball League. This unfair treatment at the time was, of course, based off of prejudice, made her become more victorious. So she stated saying, if I had played with white girls, I would have been just another player. But now I am somebody who has done something that no other woman has done. In 53, at age 19, she became a member of the Indianapolis Clowns Baseball Club and pitched for 3 years. That same year, Johson finished with an 11-3 record. And in 54, she went 10-1. And in 1955, she finished 12-4. She hit between .252 and .284 in each season. When she wasn't pitching, she played second base. During her tenure, she won 33 games, lost 8. Her batting average was .262 to 2.284. Faheem, again, she also was a teammate of home runner leader Hank Aaron. That was her teammate for him. So
really? That's a legend.
She also credits her pitching success where she learned from Satchel Paige, who taught Johnson to throw her curveball. He just showed me how to grip the ball to keep from throwing my arm away because I was so little. Her nickname was Peanut Johson. Was one of 3 women and the first female pitcher to play in the Negro League. So she was a licensed nurse for 30 years after her playing baseball career. And she passed away, unfortunately, December 18, 2017 in Washington, D.C. So I thought that was a really interesting factoid. I didn't even know about Mamie Johson. We need a movie ASAP, Faheem. What's your thoughts on this historic, amazing woman who I really wish I knew about her before she passed away? But hey, we're giving her flowers today on Women's History Month. Any thoughts? And then we'll get right into it. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. First, she played with legend Hank Aaron, legend Satchel Paige, another legend. Hank Aaron was just a major league legend. Satchel Paige, Negro League legend. I'm actually more surprised that, well, they had a women's baseball league back then. It'd be interesting
they had a white women's league, but not one for black women. So she played with the men's Negro League. Remember?
So that I understand. But they had a women's league back then, right? Nowadays there's like women play softball. They don't play baseball. So I just wonder, when along the lines that they went from women playing baseball and transition to softball when softball wasn't, but she was obviously playing before the softball transition for women, and she played baseball with men, which is crazy. It's amazing.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's why I really want to highlight her. I thought it was something that neither of us probably knew. And I'm assuming some of our listeners and people watching aren't aware either. So look her up, y'all. Very interesting, fascinating story. Anyway, we need a movie ASAP.
Yeah, right. All right, so Nelly J, what was this? It was for college basketball. I thought this would be interesting to discuss today. Schools with the highest revenue from college basketball. A list of the 5 top schools. And I found this one very interesting. Let's quote our sources. Obviously, it's Boardroom from Instagram who posted it. And they got this from FD Sportsbook, this information, which I find very interesting. It was number one, Duke, two, Syracuse, three, North Carolina Tar Heels, four, University of Connecticut, and five, Indiana University. The numbers, though, there's quite a bit. College basketball obviously shows its popularity. 47 million for Duke, 35 million from Syracuse, 33 million from UNC, 32 million from UConn, and 31 million from Indiana University. It's a lot of money from college basketball. There's actually a
Mm-hmm.
top 10 list. There's others also on here also. Just go from 6 to 10 is University of Louisville is 6, 7, Marquette, 8, University of Kentucky, 9, Michigan State, and 10, Illinois. A lot of
Mm.
big names here in this top 10 list. Top five are kind of the most notable. There is a surprise here. I'll let you maybe get into a little bit further also, but University of Kentucky at number 8. They're one of the more popular one. They produce the most NBA guards or players the most like seems like the NBA
Well,
farm
no,
system.
they just produced the stat was they had the most players in the All-Star game. I don't know
Okay.
if they've produced the most overall NBA players. I have
Oh,
to look up that stat,
right.
but I know like the All-Star weekend, they spoke about them having the most. Kentucky had the most players at the
Hmm.
All-Star weekend. I don't know if they've
Right.
produced the most players though. I
Okay.
don't know if it's them or Duke or, but we can look it up.
Hmm. So University of Kentucky, they're up in there with 27 million. So from Louisville to Illinois, from 6 to 10. It's pretty tight. It's 28 million to 26 million. So pretty much the same, give or take a million. But yeah, thoughts on this list, Nelly J?
Yeah. So I'm just checking our facts here before. Yeah, so the team that has the most NBA players, you're right, it is Kentucky. They have produced 28 current NBA players. So wow, they had a lot the All-Star and they also have the most overall. And this was published in March 2024. That's pretty recent. Not surprised. All those teams have strong programs for like decades. This is not like, these programs have been like, like have been around for at least 30, 40 years. So no shocker here. I do think it's also those schools you named are known to have strong basketball, but not too strong much football. So, they're very basketball centric of
Hmm.
those teams.
Good
So it's
point.
it's kind of interesting that they did produce so much in regards to
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
Um I I am not what's the word? In terms of like, are we shocked? No, but Blue Bloods is real. Um, One thing I wanted to mention, Fahim, is University of Alabama. Are they on that list? Do you
No, they're
know?
not.
They
Oh.
have nine. Fahim, listen, I'm looking at the list, brother. I'm looking at the list, man.
Uh, who went to Alabama?
They have nine. So I'm looking at the list right now.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then
What?
after them, but also at nine is USC. They have nine players as well. So okay, for
Uh,
Alabama, the name. So Alabama, they have Colin, Colin Sexton, Herb Jones, Brandon Miller, Kira Lewis, and Noah Clowney, to name a few that are
wow. Yeah.
in the NBA. And then
Okay.
for USC, Evan Mobley, as we all know, Nikola Vucevic, DeMar, Melton, those guys.
That's a
Um,
shocker.
yeah. So if I'm saying te- Tex Texas, U of T, so Texas University, they also have nine as well. But University of Alabama,
Wow.
Texas is also a football team, and they're producing a lot of NBA players. They're nine. Gonzaga has 10, so they're 10. So they have 10. So that's interesting. Gonzaga.
Right.
Is Gonzaga on your top 10 list over there?
No,
No.
no. But that's not, yeah, they're not on
Then
the top 10 list, but
yeah.
not
How about
really a shocker.
Arizona? Is Arizona on there?
No, no, they're not.
Wow. Villanova?
Nope.
Wow. So these are some teams that. How about Michigan? I think it's at Michigan, right?
Michigan State, not University
Oh,
of
not
Michigan.
Michigan
Yeah.
Wolverines.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, and
Right.
so yeah, so looking at the top 10 programs, Kansas is up there. So I forgot. So it's counting up. So Kansas has 12. Um, has 12, and North Carolina has actually 11. So as I'm going up down the list
Hmm.
here, then we have uh Cali, UCLA, they have 16, right? Russell Westbrook went there, Kevin Love, Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine, Jaime, the
Hmm.
rookie for Miami.
Right.
Um, and then it's interesting for him that like Kentucky's one, but Duke I think is number two. Duke has, let's see, let me go to Duke here. Is it Duke? Yeah. So Duke actually has 24. So I guess they're second because 28 was Kentucky, right? They have 28. Duke has 24. So that's a lot. And then the other three teams that they named here. So it just shows you. So the teams that have the most, number one is Kentucky, then Duke, then UCLA, then Kansas, then Michigan. Not Michigan State, which is interesting.
Mm.
Um, Tar Heels, Gonzaga, Arizona, Villanova, Alabama, USC, and Texas. And I don't think you
Wow.
said Texas or Villanova or Alabama
Nope.
or
Nope.
Gonzaga. So they
Hmm.
make a lot of money, but a lot of them aren't producing a lot of talent. But Duke and
Hmm.
Kentucky, man, they're backing up their program, and Kansas
Hmm.
too. Because they're up there. Not any much. Faheem, you mentioned UConn. They don't have any, they're not top for most players in the league. Is that interesting?
Hmm. Hmm. They're a
Interesting.
legacy
Anyways.
one though,
Or
because normally
Indiana. Nor
in the
Indiana.
right, right. Well, yeah, yeah, Indiana, not yeah. Those are teams that I think historically have really been programs that usually, well, not so much Indiana. Um, but what was the other team? Indiana. What was the other team you mentioned?
So I was saying, so the
Yeah,
teams that you mentioned that had top 10, you said Indiana, and then you also mentioned UConn. Those two teams aren't
UConn.
top
That was the other
in,
team. Yeah, UConn
yeah.
usually is a program that pushes a lot of NBA
They
players
push
through.
women WNBA,
Oh,
but
yeah,
the men, I
right.
mean, you know what I'm saying? So
Maybe not as of late. Yeah.
as of
Um,
late, exactly.
mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, you made a really good point though in regards to these. A lot of these schools seem to be basketball centric. Maybe outside the list, maybe Michigan State. They have a football program somewhat.
Yes. Hmm.
But
I
outside of that,
agree.
yeah, a lot of these teams are, sorry, a lot of these schools are basketball centric, which would actually speak to the fact that uh, their basketball program is obviously a high priority at the school.
Hmm. That's a
And
fact.
March Madness appearances, they do matter. I'm really surprised with
Hmm.
Marquette, to tell you the truth. Marquette does not seem like a school outside of like when I think maybe Dwayne Wade, I know went to Marquette, Jimmy Butler went to Marquette. But outside of those two, I'm not really, and there might be a few sprinkled here and there, but they're not really a big program. So to see
Hmm.
that they were in the top 10, that's a
Agreed.
team that really surprised me a lot because they're not really known as a basketball program.
That means they have a
Um,
really good, probably a good fan base that supports, that feeds them, right? Because I'm assuming
hmm.
all those programs have, like, they're in cities and towns where, like the fans are also basketball heavy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Duke and North Carolina are in the same area. They're literally
Hmm.
like down the street from each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The neighbors.
So,
Mhm.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Marquette actually is in Chicago.
Hmm. And Chicago has a lot of basketball there. So, a lot of basketball.
Love basketball there. And so I
Hmm.
guess if you're talking from a college standpoint, if you're looking for college hoops, and in Chicago, who loves basketball, Marquette would be a very high profile school in Chicago, which put them, I guess, on this list also. So yeah, I found it interesting. Is there any school that you think maybe could make the list that we haven't mentioned? That I'm
No,
just trying to think,
I mean, yeah, the schools I just named that have the most. I'm surprised Villanova's not on there because I
right?
thought
That
they
would be
have
one.
a big,
Mhm.
yeah. So Villanova. Did you name Arizona?
No, Arizona wasn't on the list.
That's another one I'm surprised because those two
Yeah.
have had like teams. You know what I'm saying? Through his
Hmm.
history. So,
Hmm.
um, Texas and Alabama, not surprised because of where they are, but Alabama having 9. That's a lot. I did not think they had 9 players in the NBA. So
Hmm.
clearly they're producing some talent out over there.
Since we're on March Madness, is there any school, anything going forward that you think we should be looking out for anything that you've seen so far in the early stages of March Madness?
I mean, there's no perfect brackets for the men's, which makes sense. On the women's side, I'm not sure, but no, just enjoy the games. Like I've picked, I did my brackets already, so I remember the final four, but I'll probably announce my final four, because it's already been done. I'll probably announce it the next episode, but
Hmm.
just enjoy the first round, man. I think this is going to be exciting. I keep hearing about the women's brackets being more, people are
Hmm.
excited about that more than the men's, but I think the men's side is also exciting. So just March Madness. You just gotta enjoy it. I don't know why the
Hmm.
NBA has games right now. This is really distracting from college, but here we are.
Right.
Here we are.
Yeah, I've been hearing that narrative that people are saying that this year, they're more excited for the women's game than the men's game.
Yeah,
So,
because there's
yeah.
rivalry, there's actual like trash talking, and the
Hmm.
fight that happened between South Carolina and LSU, and
Hmm.
there's a whole bunch of
Hmm.
thing going in there. So yeah.
Right. All right. Nelly J, you want to hit up for the culture?
For the culture, we get to highlight individuals for the culture. And today, y'all, we're going to highlight a special documentary, guys. So there's a four-part series that is being produced by Peyton Manning's Omaha Productions, right? And Words and Pictures in partnership with ESPN Plus. There's exclusive documentary behind the scenes documenting elite collegiate women's basketball. Okay. These basketball stars that are currently breaking seasons and records. Imagine you talk about Faheem, women's basketball. I warned y'all 2 years ago to get familiar. I said, y'all, what's coming in the pipeline, get be watching. And so I'm just so happy seeing these ladies get their flowers. But the documentary is going to be called, it'll be an original series called Full Court Press, and it'll be presented by State Farm, featuring Caitlin Clarke, Kamilla Cardoso, Kiki Rice. Okay, to premiere, right? So essentially, they're gonna be featuring different athletes in the women's basketball space for him each episode, and so I'm excited about this. The episodes will be 1 and 2 will be airing on May 11th at 1 p.m. Eastern, and 3 and 4 will be airing on May 12th. They will all be streamed on ESPN Plus. Canada, we probably get on TSN or something. I'm not sure how, but I think this is really cool. It's gonna be something where I think behind the scenes insight as to how these players are. For those who don't know, Caitlin Clarke, senior guard, she's graduating, going to WNBA for Iowa, and then we have Cardosa, who was Brazilian native, playing for U.S. For South Carolina. She's a senior. They're also going to the draft, and Kiki Rice, she's a UCLA sophomore, a guard. So I'm excited for him. I think this is for the culture only because documenting women athletes, going behind the scenes, understanding their perspective, how they approach the game, just having interviews, unique footages, right? How they play on the road. Like, I'm excited to see what type of coverage they're going to have on their journey, chronicling their journey throughout, especially Caitlin Clarke, knowing that, she actually did break records this year. So, yeah, I think it's exciting. I cannot wait. Any thoughts for him on this documentary that is produced by Peyton Manning, Omaha Productions? You got it.
We've come a long way. Do you remember during the pandemic? We actually on one of our, I think it might have been one of our absurd topics where we talked about women facilities and how the women's were treated,
Yes,
how the
I
women are treated
remember
during
with Coach
the
Lee. We're talking about that with her. I remember that. Yes.
hmm just second tier uh in regards to just how they're handled and the whole March Madness, even just the fact of even using the term March Madness, the
Yes,
women
back then
weren't
they weren't
using
using
that,
March
right? Like,
Madness.
look at how
Hmm.
far we've come in just
I
three
remember we're
years.
talking about it. We're like, yo, why won't you give them that name? That's weird. Like
Hmm.
we literally, if you like follow Good Rookies, we've been talking about all this stuff for him, and it's like you're right, it's not happening.
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm. So yeah, this doc's. I'm hoping. So here's an opportunity. I have a feeling where they might go with the doc. You mentioned cover the three players every day. I would like to see if they can maybe incorporate just instead of making it like a real like feel good, I'm hoping they can really kind of identify, just the strides that the women's game's made and incorporate that in because I don't want that if this is a four-part series, as you're saying, this is going to be like the start of something. If they're going to start something, I'm hoping that they can start it with showing like where it's come from, So we'll see how it is, but I think it's great because this is just going to add a higher profile to the women's game and which I do think Peyton Manning and his production company is very smart to get involved now because this is if it's every year, you're just going to have new players for you to profile every year, and these players and it's just going to be college players, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
It's all women's collegiate. Yeah, top
oh,
players.
well, imagine
Mm-hmm.
that. So it's not even the professional. So collegiate. I wonder how this is going to work out in regards to like, say the NIL. I know that I see how NIL deals come in.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
So the thing is
hmm
that these ladies all have NIL deals, right?
hmm
So it's gonna help with that brand
Right,
recognition as well, for
right,
sure.
right. And when you get these ones coming through, then there's going to be a next crop once they graduate. So it's going to be great for the women's game. So yeah, shout out. It's great.
But to your point, Fahim, it's a documentary. So it's going to have the highs and lows, and it's documenting throughout the season.
Hmm
So for sure, there's going to be capturing moments that you said is going to be like a good moment and moments where they had to kind of figure things out, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'm sure, these guys are storytellers. They're going to have
Right.
some great stories here, but um, you know, it's I'm really excited, right? Really,
hmm
really excited for this. Yeah,
And where's
man,
it being distributed?
on ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm
Okay.
not sure in Canada what that will be, but
hmm
I'm sure
hmm
it'll be somewhere in Canada somewhere. I
hmm
don't know. I won't stay aware but it says it'll premiere on ABC and ESPN Plus. So I guess
ABC.
ABC.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
on both. Yeah,
That's really good
yeah.
because it's it's not uh was it just it's regular cable. ABC, most people get it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be greater accessibility for people to get it.
Yes.
Kind of reminding me of when we talked about the Phoenix Suns and how Suns broadcasting their games over just
Yeah.
regular
And
cable to
actually,
make it. Mhm.
their viewership went up. I think they had the most
Right.
viewership increase because of that. From what
That
I
is correct.
remember seeing somewhere in boardroom. So yeah, good for them.
Yeah, so that's very smart for them to distribute it there also, because yeah, this is gonna be great. It's this year they're doing it, or is it going
Yep,
to
yeah, in
be?
May, early May. Yep, early
Wow,
May. So in a few
awesome,
months.
awesome, nice.
Hmm.
hmm
That's why it's for the culture. Check out the documentary. Support, guys, and enjoy March Madness.
All right. So now, J, why don't we go to our last segment, which is That's Absurd.
That's absurd. Fahim, bro, what was absurd this week? What was absurd?
Doc Rivers says that DeAndre Jordan should be the first player to have his jersey retired in the new Clippers arena. Absurd.
Absurd. Um, he said the first, which I think is absurd. Like
Right.
first,
Right.
first.
So let me give the
So,
quote. Let me give the
mhm.
quote. He says he was the original one. He's all defense, Olympic gold medalist, NBA champion, and he stayed there the longest. Was traded, never just left. End
That's
quote.
okay. I mean, I mean, either way, DeAndre has no power over that. He works for a business, and if they trade him, they do. Um, but yeah, like the first jersey, like I think we all can agree, the first jersey, if anyone, should be Chris Paul. Bob McAdoo, Elton Brand, Blake Griffin, like there's been other Clippers players throughout history that
Elton
have been there.
Brand. Yeah. Mhm.
So it's just I mean, but again, like Doc's a coach, this is his opinion. I think it's absurd for him to say that he should be the first jersey, right? And honestly, this retirement jersey thing for him, it should be for like the greats. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you're jersey in a rafter, that means that you are great. Like you helped us have the best season. You were the best player at the time when you were there. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I just feel like, yes, he was there for a long time. He's loyal, but I don't think you should have a jersey retired because you're loyal. I think
Mm.
that's very like, hey, thanks for playing with us because we were such a sorry franchise. I think, Orlando retiring or Shaq makes sense. They went to the finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, let things make sense for him. Feel me?
Hmm.
Don't retire just because he was there longest. I don't think that's a thing. That shouldn't be a thing.
Right.
Sorry.
Well,
Um, anyway.
so maybe not be, you know, we're not Clippers fans, but I'm just wondering, he in the Clipper fan base, I wonder, do you remember during free agency when he's a free agent and he was about to go to Dallas and the whole team, the Clippers teams went out to I guess his home and locked him in the home and convinced him to not leave for Dallas and stay in Los
Mm-hmm.
Angeles. I'm wondering how much things like that play into the story of him just like how valued he is within the Clippers franchise. Because I do think it's
Yeah.
kind of absurd. He's the
So,
first
so
one.
for him, I mean, buy him a plaque. I don't know. Get him a DeAndre Jordan row in the freaking arena, not a retired jersey. That means
Yeah.
something in basketball. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Retired jersey means you put up Hall of Fame numbers or we won with you. This guy's a
Hmm.
average career 8 points. No, Fahim. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going with that. I'm really not. But again, good player, good loyal guy, big part of the Clippers franchise, big part of their journey as a franchise. I think he should be maybe rewarded, should be admired, but retired jersey, that means something. That means you were a top guy in the league, you were the top guy on our team, or you helped us win a chip. That's what I think for a retired jersey. It
Or
shouldn't be for anyone else.
yeah, or maybe someone who's maybe the heart and soul of the team. I don't even know if I could
No,
say that
Fahim,
DeAndre.
again, again,
Yeah.
that's an award,
Yeah.
admiration. Give him a section. You don't give him a retired jersey means that with this jersey, you helped us become something, right?
So
That's why I feel like Chris Paul made him better. His numbers before Chris Paul was not good. When Chris Paul got there, he made him much better, right? So again, like Chris Paul makes a lot of centers and big men look good. Like we know we've seen Chris Paul's journey throughout the NBA. Everyone he makes everyone look really good. As why Chris Paul is a great point guard. But to be the first retired jersey for him, I'm sorry. They did
so
not go to the finals. They did not win anything. They couldn't win, as we know the record of Doc Rivers and game sevens. Like
3-1.
good player. I'm not saying don't reward him. I'm just saying retired jerseys. Look at retired jerseys in the league. It means something, right? Clippers don't have retired jersey, and another Toronto Raptors. Even for Toronto, it's like us saying Faheem, let's retire. Who was here for a long time for him, but didn't help us win anything. And was actually a top or all NBA player when he was here. Like he
Chris
wasn't even
Bosh?
he wasn't even a depoy player. Yeah,
Chris Bosh
but
passed.
even Chris
Yeah.
Bosh, he how long was he here for?
About 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, that's not enough. I mean, like a 10, like DeAndre was there for 10 years.
Yeah.
There, right? So again, I'm
Hmm.
saying, yeah, reward him. I don't know, give him a section, give him a thing, but like, does he
So
deserve a jersey retirement? No,
Udonis
I don't think so.
Haslam in Miami. Is he getting a retired jersey? I have
No,
a
he got a
feeling.
job. He got a job and he got a nice retirement plan. He got a nice retirement plan where he was
Right.
on the bench getting paid lots of money to just sit there and create culture. And
Hmm.
he has a job there. I think he's good. I think he's
Yeah.
okay. I think he's fine. But you know what? If they retire Jersey, that makes sense because he stayed there and like he's working there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Yeah.
something even different,
Right.
right? And like, but DeAndre wasn't that. Like again,
Right.
DeAndre, good guy, good player. I'm not saying not reward the guy for being loyal, but doesn't mean that
Hmm.
you retire his jersey. Like that stuff
Yeah.
means something. Like for
Yeah.
example, like did he break records? Like is he the most like rebounded? Like does he have a Clippers record that he
I'd
broke
be
when he was
interested to
there?
think. For some reason, I would think that he must have a Clippers, some Clippers records.
I
Actually,
don't know. I'm saying I don't know. I don't think I don't know.
really. Let
Well,
me
I
just
mean,
look.
does
I'm,
he?
I'm just gonna quickly do a quick search here because I have a feeling
Yeah.
I'll give him maybe he's maybe the leader in maybe block shots. He's got to be maybe even a leader in rebounds. He might actually, you know what? Let me see. DeAndre Jordan, Clippers franchise leader. Let me see what pulls up here because I have a feeling he might.
So okay, so
Am
if
I
he's
reversing?
not, then how? If he's
Here
not,
we go.
then
Here we go. I
how
got
do you
it.
feel?
Okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go.
God.
Here we go. DeAndre Jordan holds well, actually in 2023 he held the NBA record for highest career field goal percentage at 67%
Yeah,
for his career.
he took 2 points a game. Anyways, let's move on from
Yeah,
there,
okay.
man. What's
So
we
here
don't
we go.
we don't care
Here's a
about
franchise leader for
what's
the
the all
Clippers.
time lead?
Ready?
There we go. Yeah,
Here we go.
leaders. Yeah,
Clippers franchise leader in games played,
that makes
rebounds,
sense. Mm-hmm.
rebounds,
That
and
makes sense.
blocks.
Okay,
Mm.
great. Doesn't mean get Jersey Rafter. Right? It's the
Okay,
Clippers, man.
so on the way
If we
out then,
play
let
for
me
the
ask this.
Boston Celtics, I don't care. But
Okay, so
Clippers,
let me ask this then.
and also, and for Faheem, most games played, yes, he should have that because he played more than everyone. But the per game stats is not him. The per game stats go to other people. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, that's what I'm saying.
Well, the
Like, it's
rebounds and
not.
blocks is him for 100%.
Yeah, for a total. But Faheem, he also has most games played.
Hmm.
You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? If I play more games than you, I hope I'd have more blocks and rebounds. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? If I doubled your like you know what I'm saying? Like it's a
So,
skewed stat. If he has most rebounds per game, he doesn't have that. Most blocks per game he don't got that either.
okay,
So
it's funny. Maybe just one portion of this is maybe changing the context. Doc's saying he should be the first one in the new arena, which I think we can both agree is absurd. Do you think that he should have maybe, if not first, maybe a jersey up in the new arena?
no.
You're still on a no. Okay.
No. Jersey
Okay. Okay.
retirement
Okay.
means something. You
Got you.
have to be the best in the league while you were here to put us on the
Hmm.
map. You had to
Hmm.
win an award. Did he win MVP, Depoy? Did he
Actually,
win any of those awards? And
I
then you
think
also
he,
have to help us win.
okay,
I
hold
need
on.
something for him. I need something. Or be
Okay,
an
so
all NBA player. Was he all NBA player? Was he in a first team ever?
okay, you
Right?
know what?
Actually, he was. I see. He was the all NBA first team in 2016 one time. That
okay,
means
so
we should
that
retire
yeah.
everyone's jersey that has the first team? Nah,
Oh
man,
wait,
we
hold
can't.
on, time out. So let's put some respect. Here we go. He has albeit two third teams with the
Yeah, I saw
Clippers.
that. Okay.
He has two All NBA defensive first teams
Yes. He
with the
does.
Clippers, and two rebound leaders with the Clippers. Yeah. Those are
For him, a lot of guys have that in the stat and more, and they
uh
become Hall of Famer. Doesn't mean
yeah.
for him. Not every Hall of Famer has a jersey retirement
No, I get
for
it.
their team.
But
You know
keep
what
in
I'm
mind,
saying? Like
this is the Clippers, though. Like, they don't, their
just
history is,
because it's the Clipper doesn't mean they should lower their standards.
well, yeah, I think
Again,
that's
my
the
opinion.
fact
You
that,
can
no,
agree.
no,
That's cool.
I hear you. But
Yeah.
the fact that we are talking about a possible DeAndre Jordan
No,
retirement
I'm not
period,
talking
whether,
about it. I don't think it's gonna happen. You think we're not talking about.
I
I'm
don't even
saying
think,
hell no. You're saying maybe. You're saying yes. I'm saying
no,
hell no.
uh, okay. No, I'm with you. I'm with you on the no. Just,
Are you sure? I feel like you want
yeah,
to give him because you're like, oh, he's a nice guy. You're like Doc Rivers, man. But anyway,
that's
we'll
fair.
see what happens.
Yeah, know, I'm with you. It's a little absurd to think that he'd be the first one, but I'm just wondering if I lived in Los Angeles and I was a Clipper fan, I wonder how Clipper fans feel about that. If they respect DeAndre Jordan more than maybe we're giving credit for from the outside looking in. That's all.
I know I think they respect him, but do they
Hmm.
think that he should have a retired jersey? That's the question. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
especially
think the
first,
question
right?
is
Yeah,
respect, right? The question isn't
yeah.
respect. The question is, should he have a retired jersey for
Hmm.
their team, right? But we
Right,
all know fans. I mean, some fans think Kawhi Leonard should have a retired jersey in Toronto, and I don't agree with that.
right,
So, like,
right.
do we really care? Like, do fans really get it right all the time? I don't know. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like,
Yeah,
I don't think that's a good gauge, but nonetheless, like I do think he's a big part of their history. I think he should be a part of that franchise, awarded in some way. But I just think retired jersey that means something in basketball,
yeah.
um, something
That's
huge, not
fair.
just because we like you. So, oh man,
All right. So Nelly J. Oh, we put this episode in the books.
That was the Good Rookie Show. And got my correction. Yes, he was a Clippers when he was an All-NBA first team. I remember that season. I was thinking about that. I'm like, yes, he was. But yes, Faheem. So at this time, we do our shout outs, Good Rookie. So for me, I actually want to do a shout out to someone in light of Women's History Month. I want to give another shout out to Althea Gibson. For those who don't know who she is and looking around like, who's Althea Gibson? She was the first Black professional tennis player or professional and professional golfer. Okay. Yes. She was a Black professional tennis player and professional golfer. And was the first Black athlete to cross the color line of international tennis. And in 1956 became the first African American to win a Grand Slam title, the French Championship. So she also won both the Wimbledon and U.S. National Open. So again, for those who don't know, she was also an AP, a Female Player Athlete of the Year in as well. So yeah, Hall of Famer. She's won 11 Grand Slam tournaments, 6 double titles. She's also an International Tennis Hall of Fame, and also International Women's Sports Hall of Fame. So let's give it up to Althea Gibson, another amazing trailblazer in women's sports. Big up to African Archives. They did a really good job this month in highlighting International Women's Day and Women's Month. And so they highlighted Althea as well as Mamie Johson, who was the first Black woman pitcher in the Negro League. So just love the fact that, the first Black American to win Wimbledon was Althea Gibson. I don't think a lot of people know that. So we know who Serena is. We know who Venus is. But do you know about Althea? Mm-hmm. So big up to her. You got to see.
Nice. So I guess my shout out is just in regards to what we're talking about earlier, women's sports and the women's. What is it? They're not going with March Madness.
Women's History Month.
Women's History Month. But yes, but for the women's college basketball, they're not going with March Madness.
It's called March Madness now.
Now it's called March Madness. Okay.
They changed the name. 2 years ago, they changed it. Actually, last year was the first year. Last year was the first year with March Madness as the name.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'll keep it on brand. What we're doing with Women's History Month this month. Shout out to all the women college athletes who are going to be performing at March Madness this year. And just like I said, the come up is real. Last few years, it's grown.
The struggle.
It's early, but yeah, it's grown so much. Mm-hmm. And especially with March Madness on hand. 3 years ago, just to think that it would be rivaling the men would actually be laughable, to tell you the truth. Like, I wouldn't take that bet. And here we are now with how it's going. So shout out to the women college athletes playing.
Yay! Shout out. Big up yourself.
Yeah. All right. On that note, Nelly J, let's put this in the books.
Y'all, that was the Good Rookie Show. Mm-hmm. If you had a good time and enjoyed yourself, please like and subscribe. And tell my friend, Faheem.
On all platforms, if you're looking for us, you know what it is. That's the Good Rookie Show. And we out. Peace.